All right, on to our next topic. Well, I guess we should continue on with E3 awards. You can go onto the site and check out both our staff and community awards for E3. Zelda was pretty much the unanimous best in show from both the staff and the community. Like, everybody picked it, had the most votes. We also did best non-playable game. And that ended up being Persona 5, which got a new... It wasn't there. It was weird. Like, as usual, the Atlas booth was very, like, decked out as, like, a Persona 5 kind of thing. And there were, like, bags, and there was swag. But the game itself, not on the show floor.
Which was weird.
That is odd.
Right behind it, they had King of Fighters 14, which was playable and is coming out soon.
Yes. Well, and we have a release date for Persona 5. It's coming out it's coming out this year in Japan. It's coming out in February next year. But I saw about as much as anybody else did, but I sat and chatted with an Atlas rep about what they were showing, and they were pointing out various things to me. And my main takeaway, which you can kind of go see on the site, was, wow. It's really no wonder that this game is taking 6 years to make, because, dang, this game looks huge. So you can go find further thoughts about that on the site. We also talked about Horizon Zero Dawn, which I talked about at some length on Axe of the Blood God. And also Recore, which Jeremy really liked. Resident Evil 7... Forza Horizon 3, which was a big one that got mentioned quite a bit on the site. The community talked about Dragon Quest 7 and Horizon Zero Dawn, Last Guardian, Persona 5, and Nier Automata, which all look very good. I'm kind of curious, outside of Zelda, Mike, what was your favorite game of the show?
Favorite game of the show? Okay, that's a bit of a hard one. Mm-hmm. Because I'm gonna say Forza Horizon 3. I think that's what I said for the community question. Because I'm a big fan of the Horizon series. I'm not Jazz is our sim racer dude. Whereas I am more, and always have been, more of the arcade racer style guy. So the Horizon series is exciting for me, since we don't really get Burnout anymore, and Need for Speed is kind of it's just a lot of fun, ton of cars, free big open world, so it pretty much checks all the boxes for me. So Forza Horizon 3 was probably my best, but I mean, that's still counting like Resident Evil 7, which I enjoyed. Even though I'm a little worried about the fan reception for it. Horizon Zero Dawn, which I didn't get to play, but looks great. Another one that I feel checks all of the boxes. Steep. Steep. As an SSX fan, I was really excited when Ubisoft announced Steep.
Yeah, so. all the people who are kind of into the more extreme sports games were very excited.
Yeah.
Including myself, even though I wouldn't count myself as a huge SSX fan, I still really like the idea of snowboarding and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I got me intrigued. I actually got them to let me into the Ubisoft booth so that I could give it a try.
Let me in, please.
She did. I had the appointment.
Scratch.
Yes,
like a cat.
Exactly. But no, I got in, and they they gave me a demo and everything.
Oh, that's nice.
Main takeaway was that it looks a little early right now. They said that it was still pre-alpha what they were showing, but it looks promising. Mm-hmm. It feels good when you're snowboarding down those big mountains. And I was starting to get the hang of doing tricks and everything. But most of the time, I was just ragdolling down that mountain slope.
Hello, Mike's kitty. Are we going to talk about the cat in the room here? It's cat hour today on From Us to You.
What we don't know is that we're all just mannequins, and the cats are actually totally screwed up the delivery on this one.
The cats
actually run
controlling us.
US Gamer. We're
The
just
secret is
puppets.
We're just and as I said in my preview for Steep, there it used to be that we would get games for a bunch of different sports, and we talked about this at E3, but most of that went away because games became too expensive. So it became really hard to justify like a one-off like NFL Blitz or FIFA Street or stuff like that. The more fun versions of sports instead of the like hardcore sims.
Which is weird because Rocket League proved that a really fun, well-made sports game with a really strong angle will do extremely well.
Especially now we got online, which was one of the things that kind of let down the previous versions. Like you would play FIFA Street, like I'd play it by myself because it didn't really have online. It may have.
The most recent FIFA Street wasn't that good. That's why it didn't do well.
Yeah.
And I remember like NBA Jam. I don't feel like EA, like the game itself was by all accounts really good. I just feel like it kind of flew under the radar. My point is that the nature of sports games is that you can make a really good one-off sports game. And I think people will respond to it. It's just outside of Rocket League, it hasn't.
Yeah.
I like SSX. Like I remember it had its fans, but I remember that the reviews were kind of on it.
It was apparently like I went back and looked. It was according to Frank Gibeau in an interview. It was a successful launch because he was contrasting Syndicate and SSX, and he was like, Syndicate sort of just fell. He's like, but SSX was a successful launch. But I don't think I just don't think it fits with what EA Sports is willing to do now.
Whatever that is. I don't know what EA Sports' strategy is anymore outside of make lots of money on Ultimate Team.
Ultimate Teams, it's FIFA, Madden, NHL, Ultimate Teams, that's it. We're done.
I mean, like, Ultimate Team doesn't fit into the FIFA Streets of the world.
No.
In the same way. So, why even bother? So, alas. Yeah. But I'm really happy to have Steep, and I'm really interested to play it. And as for Forza Horizon 3, I think Burnout Paradise was one of the 5 best games to come out last generation.
I can say.
It really spoke to me, and I think it really encompassed everything that was great about the last generation. Had great DLC. Like, the DLC just, in so many respects, like, expanded the game, like, in multiple ways. They had the island that you could go on to. That was a lot of fun. It looked amazing when it came out. Like, the graphics were just so good. It, like, just was gorgeous in HD. It did open world in a way that simply hadn't been possible the previous generation. And it did online in a really interesting way. The way that you would, like, have this passive online kind of thing, and you would do, like, stretches of road, and you would see online leaderboards telling you how many people, like, how people had done in that particular run. So you're always comparing yourself to your friends list. So the social elements were really strong in Burnout Paradise. And I haven't had a driving game speak to me that strongly since. I think Forza Horizon 2 came the closest.
Okay, so you did play Forza Horizon 2.
I did play Forza Horizon 2. It felt a little bit different. And to be honest, like, I'm pretty busy, so I didn't have a lot of time to throw into it. I really like that Forza Horizon 3, it looks like a mix of kind of Burnout Paradise meets MotorStorm, which are, like, 2 games that I really, really like. MotorStorm's off-road racing and that kind of thing in the Australian bush. And Burnout Paradise is openness. Like, I think it could really be best of both worlds. And oh my god, that game is gorgeous.
It is. It's gorgeous looking. I've never played a Forza game, but I think maybe this is a good place to start.
Yes.
We'll see.
Like,
it's coming to PC.
the hype for that game was really strong, which says a lot, because normally driving games kind of fly under the radar unless they're jazz.
Yeah, but everyone had a good unless they're jazz. But yeah, everyone had a good thing to say about it. Like, it looks gorgeous, it looks fun. What more can you ask?
Now, you were back home on the home team, but
Indeed.
What jumped out at you?
Well, I didn't get to do any hands-on with it, and I didn't really get to see much beyond like trailers and stuff. But it's so low-key compared to everything else that was shown. But I'm really looking forward to Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah, that's not surprising to hear from like a super dedicated Dragon Quest fan.
Yeah, and like I wrote some time ago, it looks like Dragon Quest Builders might be good for people who like Minecraft, like myself, but are kind of intimidated by how aimless it is. Because Minecraft is just, there's no end goal, except maybe if you want to go hunt down the Ender Dragon. But even that, it's just kind of, it's just one goal out of, several you can do. So Dragon Quest Builders gives you a world to revive, and that gives me something to aim for. And that's what kind of has me intrigued about it, especially since it takes place kind of an alternate universe. Like a time slip from the first game. Like, I talked before about how you could actually join the Dragon Lord in that game.
Yeah.
And so Dragon Quest Builders kind of addresses that timeline where the hero joins the Dragon Lord, everything gets destroyed. So basically the Fates or whoever makes this one other hero whose task is to build everything back up. And I just think that's a really intriguing premise.
Yeah, I think that is a really intriguing premise, and I have to say that this is the first Minecraft-style game that I've actually been interested in.
Yeah, it looks very cute.
Yes, it looks really cute. So, final thoughts on E3 in general?
I was quite pleased with it. It wasn't nearly as full of like mind-blowing reveals as last year, but we did get to check up on several games we already heard about, like, of course, The Last Guardian. We got to see new Zelda. So the only thing that really disappointed me was I didn't get to see more of the Final Fantasy VII remake. I was really looking forward to that.
I wasn't surprised that they didn't cart that
Yeah,
one out.
I guess so. But either way, like, I can't say I was disappointed. And we got to see whatever the hell Kojima's working on right now, because nobody still knows.
I was about to say, did we get to see it? We got to see a trailer
We got to see a thing.
that could ultimately become anything. So
It's an idea at this point.
yeah, no, we got to see that Kojima is making a game and Norman Reedus will be a part of it. Yay.
And he will be named.
Yeah. I'm dropping a prediction right now, and since it's going to be on video, you can like kind of mark it down and remember it in December. I'm predicting that not only do we see a lot of Final Fantasy VII Remake at the next PlayStation show in December that they've started holding, I'm predicting that they'll have a release date.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid prediction, I think.
Yeah. Jeremy seems to think that 2017 is not doable, but I actually think that episode 1, say in like September,
exactly.
October, like is eminently doable.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I mean, that's why I think they cut it up in the first place. I think that's why they cut Hitman into episodes as well, because they're like, well, we got this part done, but we're not done with the rest of it, so what if we just cut it into parts and release it? And it's working for Hitman, because it sort of gives you focus on a specific part until the next part. But yeah, I think they and I forget if they said that openly. They might have. That they're like, yeah, if we didn't do this episodically, you wouldn't be seeing this game until like 2020 or like 2019.
the amount of assets that they would have had to create for the thing.
Yeah.
So I think the episodic means we're going to see this sooner rather than later.
And I also think that the reason we didn't see Final Fantasy VII Remake at E3 this year is because they want all of the focus on Final Fantasy 15. And God forbid people start comparing them like against one another and being negative about it. So
which did not show all that well, surprisingly.
That's not surprising to me. We talked about it on the other podcast, but
I felt that people were kind of muted on it.
I mean, what they showed wasn't that great. But I mean, I don't think RPGs lend themselves to the kind of set piece stuff that would show well in a demo.
Yeah.
What are you going to show? Like them leveling up? Grinding, that kind of thing. Like, it's not the kind of good stage demo stuff for a like straight up RPG. So I'm just gonna be like, let's hold off. Let's reserve judgment. We'll see.
Whatever happens, I'm still going to play it, and I'll probably enjoy it. But I guess we have to see what happens.
Absolutely.